Recently, a movie trailer depicting an evil Peter Pan has been making its rounds on the internet and rubbing quite a few people the wrong way.
I'm Peter. It's nice to meet you.
Well, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but Peter Pan is now and has always been evil. Now, Peter Pan was originally created in 1902 by a man named J.M. Barrie in the book called The Little White Bird. J.M. Barrie himself was a man with a near pathological desire to groom children in his writings, while at the same time absolutely hating mothers. But the concept of Peter Pan we are most familiar with came from J.M. Barrie's 1911 novel Peter and Wendy, and this is where shit starts to get dark. Peter Pan was originally described as being around 8 years old and the cross between a bird and a boy who was always playing the flute while small animals chaotically danced around him with what appeared to be two small horns poking out of his head. And I'm sure some of you have already started to put it together. Peter Pan bears a striking resemblance to the Greek god Pan. So not only is our character named Peter Pan, but the Greek god Pan was often seen playing a flute and is the god of shepherds and flocks, which is why early depictions of Peter Pan have him playing the flute while small animals dance around him. Now the thing about the Greek god Pan is he loves causing panic and chaos. The English word for panic quite literally comes from the Greek word Pan. The god Pan was also described as having two horns poking out of the top of his head just like Peter, and trust me, we're just getting started with the dark side of Peter Pan because Neverland is definitely not what you think it is. You see, after Peter Pan lures children to Neverland by playing his flute, he then enlists them into his army as child soldiers to help him fight in his war against the pirates and Captain Hook. A war Peter Pan himself started when he cut off Captain Hook's hand when he was a lot younger, but we'll get to that later. So Neverland is not this great place where the kids use their imaginations and have grand adventures. They are almost always killed by the pirates, and if by some miracle they survive in these skirmishes against the pirates, they begin to age, which is against the rules in Neverland, so Peter Pan quite literally them when this starts to happen. The reason Peter Pan tells these kids that they'll never grow up is because no matter what, they are most likely going to be killed. And here's where things get even more interesting. Where did the pirates themselves come from? Well, the pirates are most likely all former Lost Boys who survived in the skirmishes or the attempt on their life by Peter Pan, and then grew up with a vendetta against Peter, and now they're trying to kill him to get out of Neverland. That's why there's adults in a place that's not supposed to have any adults at all. These were all kids who Peter Pan kidnapped and brought to Neverland who ended up growing up. And one of the craziest theories of all is that Captain Hook himself was the first Lost Boy that Peter Pan ever brought to Neverland. And what had happened was Peter Pan recognized that Captain Hook was growing up, so Peter Pan decided he was going to and in the process cut off his hand while Captain Hook was escaping the attempt on his life. And of course, the two have been going after each other ever since. And I hope you didn't think I was going to make a video about an evil Peter Pan without including Wendy in some way. Wendy was originally kidnapped by Peter Pan and brought to Neverland to be sort of a mother figure to the Lost Boys. But at some point, she managed to make a deal with Peter to bring her back home. In exchange for Wendy being returned from Neverland back to her home, she was now in debt to Peter Pan. Peter Pan had this debt paid in the form of Wendy's bloodline. Generation after generation, Peter Pan would return and kidnap the daughter of a daughter from Wendy's bloodline. And as crazy as all of this sounds, the information has always been there in the earliest depictions of Peter Pan. He wasn't some magical being of benevolence. Peter Pan is now and has always been a literal demon.
Wakey, wakey. Peekaboo.
How did you get down there?
I'm Peter. It's nice to meet you.